Hey, up next on the Marr Army Rock Show, we have got Shy Eubank. He is with us from Savage After Midnight. They're from Memphis, Tennessee. Their new EP, 1159, is fresh out right now. We've added their tune 10 Feet Tall to our Golden Dozen. Shy, welcome to the show.
Yo, what's going on?
So, hey, in researching your band a little bit and enjoying the new music, I know you've been around about 10 years, but you guys have overcome quite a few struggles in the last 10 years to get to this point, haven't you?
Oh my God, to say the least. It's been crazy.
Why don't you share a couple of the, more difficult things you guys have had to face?
Oh my God, where to start? I guess we could really just go back to, if you want to get to the roots of it. We started off as a band a long time ago. The guitar player and the bass player are actually original with me. We were chasing everything. Everybody was like, hey, if you sound more like this, we've got you. If you sound more like this, we've got you. And we did about 760-something shows in about 3.5 years, touring all over the country with everybody. And we just weren't connecting. We could connect on a live performance basis, but our songs weren't there. And we went in, did a 3.5 year hiatus and just learned how to write. During that time, we had no intentions. We started writing this record for it to even be a record. We didn't even know if we were still going to be a band. I think we were just tired of chasing. So went and wrote with a bunch of people, honed those skills, learned how to write, humbled ourselves, and that's when the records, and take root. And it was really just because we decided that we weren't going to chase it anymore. We weren't going to try to be what everybody wanted us to be or was telling us we sounded a little bit more alike. So we just started writing for ourselves. And in that, came full forward, ended up catching a record deal with a small indie. And then that was really the start of all the trouble, so to speak. So we did the record the first time after just writing gobs and gobs and gobs of songs and get picked up by the indie. We decided that we'd go in with Colin Britton. We worked with him for months. Colin did the new Papa Roach stuff.
Yeah.
I just talked to him the other day. He's down there with A Day to Remember in Orlando doing their new stuff. So we worked with him for months, and then he ended up getting into it, or the label ended up getting into it with him. It was pretty nuts, to be honest with you. And that was months went down the drain because they just pulled the plug on the record. We had to start all over. And then we ended up going with Terry Date. Terry did Pantera, Slayer, you name it, he did it. Deftones, White Zombie, Bring Me the Horizon. So we were I guess on a 9-month list for him to even check us out.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, so we sat on this list for 9 months and finally got around to it, and we ended up deciding that it was going to go ahead. We were going to go for it. We were all going to work together. So we went to Seattle for 3.5 months and worked in Studio X, which is really cool. Before it's no longer there in Seattle. It's super nostalgic. It's where all the grunge bands were cutting their records back in the day. So, we were going into Studio X, into the room. We had the big live room.
Yeah.
Dave Matthews was coming out.
Nice.
Which was crazy. And then when we were leaving to go do overdubs in his personal studio, Pharrell Williams was coming in, which is just an insane experience. But after, all the tracking, 3.5 months of tracking and working on the record, we got to the mix point, and then the label had a falling out with Terry's management. So we had to scrap the entire record again.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah, and do the record a third time, which was just crazy. And in the midst of all that, we were going to go back and cut it at the label's personal studio, which was the original House of Blues, first studio ever, and some thugs came in, and that's the easiest way I could put it, and they burnt the studio to the ground.
Jeez, and my laughter is not that it's funny for you guys. It's just you couldn't write a worse story to have to get through all this.
Dude, it's so crazy. So it's just nuts. It's insane. So we go in, we get into another local studio, and we decide, all right, we're not using a producer, so to speak. We're going to grab a couple guys that are good. John Falls, he was in a band called Egypt Central that was did well back in the day. Chris Brown, another guy that just a phenomenal songwriter. We went in and they basically just mediated the situation. Made sure that my guitar player and I didn't kill each other. So went in and wrote the record that you're hearing now that got picked up by Sony. Well, in the midst of all that, the insurance company, because it was a $92.5 million insurance battle over the studio. So their legal counsel, the label's legal counsel, told them that, look, put a halt on all your projects. Insurance companies, what they do is they try to drown you. They try to drown you in legal fees to where you can't fight them anymore. So, and we didn't know this, and I caught wind of it months down the road with a record just sitting there. I finally had to sit in with the president. It was like, hey, look, love you guys. Y'all are great. We've been through the gamut together, but this record's got to see the light of day. And I understand, you guys didn't want to tell me, but, you're in breach of contract because it's just sitting here, and y'all aren't pushing it. We're not putting it out. And I was like, I want to be released and I want all the rights to everything. And they were like, I was like, it's either that or, we go into this long battle again. You're already in a big legal battle. And they just looked at me. The president was like, look, we want to see that record come out. So, you know what? You can have it. Gave me all the rights to everything. And then we ended up signing the deal with Sony. So it's been crazy, man. Absolutely insane.
So the music comes out and it's awesome, man. So we put 10 Feet Tall. We've added it to our Golden Dozen, our chart, and I know we're not the only people paying attention to that tune. Tell me a little bit about that tune and what it's about.
Yeah, so that song, really it's about empowerment. Like, to me, the most powerful people in the world become powerful through empowering other people. If I do something great for you and I get you to rise above your own expectations of yourself, then if once you've exceeded, let's say that you exceed my position in life, you're going to reach down if I need the help and you're going to pick me up,
Yeah.
So by empowering other people, you become powerful yourself. So that song is really like the anthem for that. And
now you guys did a very interesting music video. It's as much animation as it is, the live music. Are you guys big, like comic fans or something? What was the decision for the animation?
That's another crazy story. So I do like comics, but I'm not like just this like super comic freak.
Yeah.
I love to be able to tell a story, obviously. And there's not a lot of people who are going to pay attention to like a biography. They're like, they don't really know us yet. We're a young band. We're out there. We're moving and shaking, but we're not in a position where people are going to, really pay attention to like the history of the band right now. So we wanted to be able to share that in a unique way. So we're going to do like a series of comic books, and inside those comics, it's going to have what we call Easter eggs of the band's history. Nice. So, yeah, like, for instance, the city that the Savages live in, because there's us, like it's little kids with tattoos all over us, and then there's, the band version of us, and then there's what we turned into after midnight, which are like these big savage monster creatures. Well, the city that they live in is Empire City, And Empire City is the band name that we had before we signed with Sony Red. And we had to change it because there was somebody in like Denmark or Iceland that had the name. And when we go to do the world release, then we would have to go under a different name if we toured over there, whatever. It's just too complicated.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, yeah. So it's cool. Like all the videos are going to be, 30, 40, 50% animation. The one for Heartless Machine that's about to come out is mind-blowing. It's so good.
And just a little peek behind the curtain to that and reading the press, and it's a cool song, by the way. I've been listening to your EP this weekend. That's an interesting little story, something to do with the military, right?
Yeah, like, so there's two sides to that song. Like, one side, when we were writing it, we were looking how everybody is boxed in. It's like, if you choose to be an Obama supporter or a Hillary supporter or a Trump supporter, then you're automatically categorized, right? Like they've got you figured out,
Yep.
If your favorite color is green, then you're this box. Like everybody was boxing everybody in, and that song, it's a double meaning song. It's us putting out there in the world, like how we don't really appreciate everything. Everybody's so overly sensitive right now. And the second thing, it takes a look into like the military and what they have to go through to be able to support us, in these decisions that we make as a country. Like they basically have to go in and reprogram people's minds. So, and that takes a lot. I personally couldn't do it. I'm not saying that I don't condone it. I'm just saying that I don't know that I'm strong enough to, go into boot camp and have somebody, work on my mental,
I know what you mean.
reprogramming.
Yeah.
So it takes a strong person to be able to go through that. So much respect. So that's almost, like I said, it's double-edged.
Now, folks that are listening to this and think, okay, I want to see these guys live. I know you're wrapping up a tour run right now. Are there some plans for some more live dates, a string of other live dates coming up?
Oh, absolutely. So, there's not much I can really disclose this time because it's not solidified.
Sure.
But yeah, there's a ton of stuff that we're up for that have been, the furthest that 10 Feet Tall goes up the charts, the more attention we're getting and more stuff's coming to us.
Yeah.
So we're kind of just trying to figure out where we're going to go. And we also, we're going to take a few weeks at least to get Unleashed done, the video for it, because those videos take so long with all the animation and everything. So.
Can only imagine. Now, hey, album release day, I think was yesterday or very recently. What happens on album release day? What are you guys doing? Is it a regular day or is it just a nerve-wracking day?
No, honestly, it's just your phone's blowing up, about, people saying, dude, this is great, fans, friends, family, everybody. So it's really just a day that you're in your phone. And then at the end of it, once it starts to slow down, because you want to acknowledge everybody and their support of you,
Yeah.
So it just, going through and thanking everybody and everybody that's been out there really pushing and grinding to see this thing through, from day one. So it's pretty much that, and at the end of the night we just raged. Last night we went ham. It was me and the dudes and the Memphis Mayfire guys. We were all riding birds around Corpus Christi, getting wasted. It was good times.
So, as much as you mentioned, all the shows you guys do, one of the things I often marvel at, you being a singer and being on tour, I just got over being sick. How do you guys, as a singer, how do you push through? You obviously must get sick every once in a blue moon. How do you push through that as a singer?
I was sick last week.
So what are the secrets, to a novice
whiskey.
person?
Whiskey, bro. Tennessee boy, it's whiskey. It's I get to the point where I couldn't even talk And then I was like, all right, there's only one way to push through this. Jack Daniels, and then hit the stage, push it. Done. Sweat pouring off me, looking like the Crypt Keeper. Dude, it's rough, but I mean, people come for a show, and that's what I signed up for. So,
well, I have so much respect for singers for doing that, and I mean nothing to because anybody that's on stage when they're sick's got to be rough, but there really isn't anywhere for you to hide, is there, when you're not feeling well?
Oh no, right out there in plain sight.
Well, hey, one more thing before I let you go, and I appreciate all the time you took with us. Looking back, man, you've toured with some of my very favorite bands, Shinedown and Pop Evil. Do you have like a most epic tour moment, whether it be on stage or like a candid moment off stage that was like your wow moment as a musician?
So, yeah, I guess so. We did a show at the Michigan International Speedway back in the day. And when I went to walk out on stage, I really didn't know because I'd been back in the back while I guess the park was filling up. And I wasn't really paying too much attention or whatever. And I walk out on stage, and there's literally 28,000 people in front of me.
Wow.
And then at that point, like, the hair stands up on you, and you're like, I didn't have it's not a nervous moment, like, at all. I don't get nervous. I can tell you a little story about that real quick. So, my very first show ever, I was living in Knoxville, and I was playing this little dump, and we're with this local band that was getting, like, a lot of radio attention. And I was like super, super, super nervous. I was backstage. I was like, by backstage, I mean the hallway by the bathroom. And so I'm back there, and the singer walks up, and he's like, yo, man, you all right? I was like, yeah, dude, it's my first show ever. He was like, okay. I was like, you look nervous. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's my first show ever. Like, I've never sang in front of anybody. Like, I'm looking at this dude like he's nuts. And he's looking at me like I'm nuts. And he's like, let me ask you a question. I was like, what's up? He goes, this is what you want to do, right? I was like, yeah. He was like, if you could do this for the rest of your life, is this the path you would choose? If you could sing for the rest of your life. I looked at him and I was like, absolutely. And he goes, then why are you nervous? This is what you're choosing to do. Why be nervous about it? And ever since then, I've never, ever got nervous walking on stage. Even when I walked out in front of 28,000 people, literally 28,000 people, and I had them sell out of Budweiser. I was making the crowd ice each other, like, Smirnoff, get down on one knee. I was making them do it with Budweiser. And I brought the head Budweiser guy from Michigan. I guess he's like he's head over Michigan, the Michigan territory. I brought him out on stage, made him get down on one knee in a suit and down a Budweiser in front of 28,000 people. Super rad, bro.
Now that is definitely a rock star moment right there, man. I love that. That's awesome.
It's good stuff, dude. Super good stuff.
Well, hey, man, this has been Shy Eubank. He is the singer from Savage After Midnight. I mean, fresh out right now is 11:59. That's to go find it under 11:59. And we're checking out the tune 10 Feet Tall, but I'm going to tell the listeners, man, the whole record's rock solid. So go out there and get that one. It. Hey, Shy, man.
Thank you.
Oh, man, our pleasure, and it's really sincere. So, Shy, man, thanks so much for being here and spending the time with us today.
Absolutely, my friend. I definitely appreciate all the love and the support, man. It's awesome.